Welcome back to the Show Me Show podcast. This is episode 22, I do believe. We have a really packed show today. I'm so excited to just get into it and start recording it. We had Iowa State commit and Washington High School football senior Trevor Buhr on. That is a great interview. It's going to be about 30 minutes. Make sure you tune into that. You don't want to miss it. We got segments as well. We're going to do some MLB talk. The Cardinals are hot. They're on a 7-game winning streak, and they go on the road tonight to Colorado. And then we also got some NFL talk as football is officially back, #back. And yeah, let's get right into the show here.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Cam here. And right before I send you over to the Trevor Buhr interview, I just want to let you know that the audio does shift back and forth between the mic audio and the video audio. It is for the viewer's benefit only, as sometimes Cam and Luke's microphone audio would echo. Trevor's audio sounds great, though, most of the time. So, yeah, I hope you guys still enjoy, and that kind of goes for the rest of the show. So, yeah.
3, 2, 1. All right, welcome back once again to the Show Me Show podcast. It's brought to you by Dr. Pepper, of course. As always, it's hot. Enjoy a Dr. Pepper. This is a free ad, by the way, so that's just how much we enjoy it. So we got really big show today. I think we're going to start off with a segment, though. This is something we don't usually do, but we're going to put the interview here at the beginning. So
Yep.
It was a great interview. We both enjoyed it, I think.
Yeah. So welcome back. Like Lucas said, great interview ahead. But before we get into that, we're going to start off with one of our new segments that we introduced last week. We're dropping the second half of the name.
Yeah.
We won't even say it on the show anymore.
Nope.
So we're going to call it In and Out.
In or out.
Yeah.
Or in and out. Yeah, either one. But yeah, if you listened last week, you know what it is. And we even talked about how stupid it probably was. And we both listened to the show this week, and we decided that it's got to go. It was a one-time unique thing, but yeah, we both got. I think we improved the segment this week, so we got some good things going on, and we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna get into the interview with Mr. Buhr. So, you want to go first here?
Yeah, sure. I'll go first. So I'm gonna start out with my in. And this is kind of a lower key in, but
low key?
Yeah, low key.
High key, low key.
Low key. This is very much low key. I want to start off with I'm not a Bills fan, but I am 100% in on the Red Rocket Bills jerseys.
I have not seen them.
I don't know if you've seen them, but they are sweet. It's a red lid with a red jersey, white pants for the Bills, and Josh Allen has been strutting around in it at training camp, and they look sick. And like I said, I'm not a Bills fan, but they look sick, and they almost rival the white Bengal jerseys.
Ooh.
So I'm just gonna say it. They look sick.
All right,
and that's what I'm in on for this week.
Well, I mean, they do look sick. Anytime you get the alternate jerseys, they're good. The only clip I saw at a Bills training camp was Stephon Diggs walking into the locker room, and people were just throwing jerseys at him to sign, and he was picking them up to sign them, and then he just dropped them right back on the ground. So probably the people picked them up, and then they're probably going to donate them for some type of money or something like that. But just kind of funny to see that. Good in anytime you get a jersey in. This one could have been a say hello too if we were doing that segment this week, but we're doing in and out again. I'm in on fantasy drafts, particularly NFL fantasy drafts, of course. I had my first one last night, and I know that it's coming back. You know, we had the first preseason game, but once it doesn't really resonate back to me. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, football's coming back. It's cool and all that. Like, let's go, because I do enjoy football season. But after the first fantasy draft, that's when it really kicks it up a notch. You're like, oh yeah, let's go. Football's really back. So I am so in. I had my first one. I'll probably do a few more. There was we tweeted out last night a poll if you would want to join a Show Me Show fantasy football league. So kind of like how we did a bracket challenge. Not official yet, of course, by any means, but that would be fun to do with the listeners here. Do a fantasy league, and yeah, I'm so it's a hard in, if you know what I mean by that. With fantasy drafts,
Yeah, hard.
so in.
Luke is very hard and in on fantasy
Oh
drafts.
yeah, got me sweating and stuff. So, I mean, I sometimes I will join a fantasy league just to do a draft and then just never touch the league the rest of the year.
I used to do that when I was.
Yeah, like I did that. I think I did that to 2 or 3 leagues last year. It was just I joined random leagues, drafted, and then simply did not touch them the rest of the year. So, I love the fantasy draft aspect so much. And last night I had nearly a perfect draft. I think I had the first pick, which I hate the first pick because then you have to wait like 18 picks before you can pick again. But there was not one time where where I had players like queued up 3 or 4 picks before, and one of them didn't get taken. Like every single player that I wanted, I got. So it's incredible. I've never had that happen before.
Definitely never had that happen. I saw Luke's draft. We're not going to talk about his fantasy draft because nobody really cares.
No one cares, but
it was sick. I'm not going to lie. I was like, holy shit. But
yeah, like he said, anytime you have I think that's the most frustrating part of a draft is like someone 1 or 2 picks before you go and you're like, damn it, they took my player, Didn't happen to me at all in this draft. So that to me is a perfect draft.
One thing I will say is I still think your drafting is slightly early. There's still over a month to go.
Oh, for sure.
A month of preseason left. And that's why we always, whenever I'm in a league, we usually do the draft like
right before the season starts.
Before the season, usually that Monday or Sunday before the Thursday night game. Just so you're not drafting injured players. But
yeah,
I will say I'm jealous of the high that you got from being that much more ready for football by having your first draft already. But yeah,
I mean, yeah, the high is kind of, it's going to go off soon though, with a month before the season. Like when I got done with my draft, I was like, oh yeah, let's get the season underway. And then I looked, I was like, we still have a month until the first game. Like I don't want to like wish the month away because a month's a long time. So it's a little disappointing though that I have to wait a month at least. But yeah, I'm so in on fantasy drafts.
One thing that's weird about football, I get this every year, is football season is literally my favorite time of the year, but it's also the beginning of the school year. So it's like a double whammy because the one whammy is beautiful and amazing, and then one is you're literally back at school. So that part is kind of rough every year, and football has to kind of like work around school.
It does. It's on the weekends.
Yeah, it does, but it's some nights, the late nights, creep into the school week, but we love it anyway. So yeah.
That's all my ends. I only had one.
Yeah. My out, on the other hand, is a different story. I can't say I will forever be out on this guy, but for now I am 100% out on Pete Davidson. He got Skeet Davidson
pronounced dead at the age of 28.
Age 28 via the New York Times.
Via Kanye's Instagram.
This is why I'm out on him. He got Kim K's initials on his body and her children after just a few months of dating.
Tattooed,
yeah.
Ooh,
on his body.
Big mistake.
Which is a tough play. And now Pete will have to win me back. His only get out of jail free card here in this one is if he threatens to kill himself again. And then I'll and then I'll be back in on Pete Davidson. But until then, I'm out.
Well, I mean, why would he did threaten to kill himself one time?
Yes.
Was it after 9/11?
I mean, technically, yeah.
Oh, well, okay. Because I know his dad died in 9/11, so that sucked. But
I didn't know that. But
you didn't?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, he did, and he makes jokes about it all the time, and they're kind of funny. I laugh at him.
Yeah,
I feel bad laughing, but at the same time, like he's making the joke. So,
and I'm not trying to go back on my out here, but that's why I said I'm not. I don't think this is a forever thing. But for right now, I'm out on Pete Davidson.
all right. Well, you gave valid reasons, but he's still a funny guy. I'll give that to him.
Also, this is more of a local out, and you're only supposed to have one in and out. But
No, you can have more.
I'm also out on that piece of shit ride at the fair called the Cobra. Shit made me super sick.
Was that the one that like it has the two arms of like 5 different seats and it spins around like?
No, it was red. It was.
Yeah, it was red.
It was. I just hope it breaks respectfully, but man,
I think was it the one that went for like 2 minutes?
Yeah,
you felt like you were on it forever.
Yeah, and you're just
Okay.
in like the seat, and it keeps going like up and down, but like it's in a circle.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it's spinning.
that's the one I'm talking about. And you feel like you're gonna hit the bar at the bottom every time you go down.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the Hurricane, the one that pushes you up against the side.
No, not that one.
I'm talking about it's just it goes like around in a circle, but it goes up and down and stuff. I don't know.
It has two arms, kind of like this, and they got like 5 seats on each end, and those are spinning, but then the whole thing's also spinning.
Yeah, that.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I rode that one too. It was awful.
It literally made me sick. That whole Saturday. After that, my stomach just hurt, and I was like, well, maybe I just need to eat something, and I ate something, and it still hurt. I mean, I woke up Sunday and I was fine, but it hurt the rest of the day.
I mean,
I'm a roller coaster guy, but
Yeah.
carny rides are like a different level, a different breed of just messing up your stomach.
Oh yeah,
That's
for
like
sure.
their number one goal.
Mine got me dizzy. Like
Yeah, it
when I
made
got
me
off the
dizzy,
ride,
too.
I was like stumbling and walking.
I was dizzy as hell after that
Yeah.
ride, but the after effects even past that.
Yeah,
So-
terrible. I'm just out on all fair rides in general. They're way overrated. They kind of suck.
No, yeah,
If you
for
really think
sure.
about it. All right, my out is for my germaphobes out there. You're gonna want to listen up to this. I'm out on the air hand dryers that you see in like a public bathroom. You know, like whenever they don't have paper towels, they just have like the big machine. You put your hands under it, and, you dry them. I've always hated them. Like, if there's paper towels in the bathroom, I'm going to use the paper towels because they never get my hands dry. Like, I always feel like I'm walking away, wiping my hands on my clothes or something because they're not fully dry. But I saw a TikTok the other day, and it was a guy who like tests out germs and stuff. So he has like these Petri dishes full of whatever. It's like a growing tray or whatever, and he sprayed up
Bacteria.
Yeah, bacteria. And he held them like under a bunch of different ones, like the one where you put your hand in, the one where you put your hand under, stuff, all kinds of hand dryers in different places, somewhere in gas stations, somewhere in restaurants. And then he put them in an incubator and tested like the germ growth. And the results were mind boggling. Like the one that he just like was waving it in the air that simulated just like, waving your hands in the air, drying them off that way. That one had no germs on it. But the other ones, they were just like full of white and black gunk. And it's just gross. And you think about that's what you're putting on your hands after you wash them. Like you're just re-putting germs back on them. And, because if you think about it, all that is, it's just a fan spinning around in that container. And so what's going like all the germs from the bathroom and the toilets and the stalls and stuff are just getting sucked into that fan while it's spinning. And then they just live in there. And then obviously when the fan spins again, some of it comes out onto your hands. So I'm not a huge germaphobe guy. I know much more people that are way more, scared of germs than what I am. But from now on, if there's no paper towels in the bathroom, I'm just wiping them on my clothes and drying them off that way because I'm not risking it. It's gross.
That's interesting. I'll definitely have to look at that, and maybe I'll even put it in the video. The growth.
It's a long video, but
like just the snippets of the growth plates.
Okay. Yeah.
But like one thing I don't like about those as well is they're so goddamn loud.
Mm-hmm.
That is the worst, honestly. And then I guess the only way that you can really get them, you can get up your hands dry from them. I know you said that you walk away usually.
You have to take like 2 minutes.
Yeah, you really have to sit there and let it like warm your hands up and dry it.
And you're really covered in germs after that.
But yeah,
And I think it's just to save paper towels to save the earth or whatever, but also if it's just spreading disease as well, I guess it's kind of counterproductive a little bit.
It's killing the human race.
So that's a good out. I really respect that one.
Yeah, I was never really in on them.
Yeah,
I like I said, I hated them before, but for different reasons. And after I saw that, I will never use one again in my life, and that is a promise. So, yeah, that's out. That's in and out.
Yeah.
And I think we can get into our interview.
Yeah. So we'll send you over to the interview with Mr. Trevor Burr. Great interview. We're really thankful that Trevor took the time. He has practice tonight, but he still came through and came over and did the show with us. So thank you, Trevor, and we'll send you over to the interview.
No, please. No. Please, everyone be quiet.
3, 2, 1. All right, please welcome to the show, first team GAC All-Conference lineman and defensive end, Trevor Burr. He's the all-time sack leader at Washington High School. He's a 2023 Iowa State commit, 3-star and beast. First off, how are you feeling? How's the body holding up as we get ready for the 2022 season? How was last night's practice?
It wasn't a bad practice. I think everyone was still trying to get in the grip of things after a week off, but I think we had a pretty good practice. Condition, obviously, that was a little rough towards the end, but I thought overall it was a good practice.
So like you just said, last night went all right.
You guys have some goals this year. What are some expectations for this year's team?
I think one of everyone's goal is to get a district championship. I think just going off the teams we have in our conference and everything, I think this is probably a very good year to have it. Like, I think this year is definitely, a good year to beat North. We have some new teams also, like North Point and Holt. I think Holt will be a good game. But my expectations for this team is mainly, I think we can beat everyone on our schedule. I think the biggest obstacle for us is just having everybody have some confidence. I feel like once we get down a little bit, people can start to fold and crumble and just kind of let it snowball on us. But I think if we kind of keep that under control, I think we can go pretty far this year, honestly.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys have gotten your district yet,
I don't think so.
I know that your guys' first 4 games they're pretty rough.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with you. I think you guys can win every game on your schedule. And honestly, I thought we could have won every game on our schedule last year too.
Yeah.
So I definitely think you guys can do that. And the first 4 games will be a real test. You guys have Union, Warrenton, Holt, and then North, I believe, right?
I think so.
4?
I think North's usually 4th, yes.
So, yeah, you guys will get – no matter what happens in those first 4, they will definitely set you up for the rest of the year in terms of tough battles.
Yeah.
So,
those would be the hardest ones, I think.
Yeah.
But
you'll have those in the rearview mirror for sure.
Yeah. As long as we've been working on fumbles. So if we don't fumble a lot, I think we'll be straight. Like, I know Union last year, that was a little rough.
Go fix that.
And did we have some fumbles against North, or was that just pass?
If you didn't know, I played last year with Trevor as well on Washington. And against North, I think we moved the ball just about every single drive and got stuffed in the red zone, I think, like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the game, we just really couldn't do anything. I don't remember a whole lot of turnovers in that game. There could have been. Yeah. I remember it was a hard-hitting affair the whole night, both sides.
Yeah, I just remember like a bunch of long passes, and special teams was another big part of that loss.
Yeah.
But
I know that they ripped off some. I feel like a long sweep that
yeah, probably
jet sweep read kind of play. I remember that.
Yeah.
They're just fast.
Yeah, for sure. They always are. This is kind of a joint question. Me and Luke were both curious about this. Give us a little bit of insight on your recruitment and commitment to Iowa State. What led you to calling Ames, Iowa home? What kind of set them apart from maybe even Iowa
or Kentucky or wherever else you were looking at?
Yeah. Honestly, I want to say it was they sent me a game day invite. It was one of the first schools that I got that from. And me, my uncle, and my mom, we went there, had a blast. Crowd was crazy. Fans were all so supportive, even because they didn't know who I was. They were like, "Oh, you play football? Like, you're welcome here." And same with a bunch of the recruits. So it felt like even just from the fans, it felt like a family oriented program. And even with some of the staff, I obviously talked to him a little bit, but not too much. Uh, One coach, Coach Hoosier, he came up to me just out of the crowd. He was like, "Hey, Trevor," and just introduced himself. So that was really cool. And then, like all the other recruiting stuff, I've always had them in the back of my mind. I was like, okay, that place is awesome. And I visited some other schools, but I always ended up because I just compared it to them, and not many other places could compare. And coaching staff, like as I got to know more and more of them better, it's nothing like it. I just love everything about it.
I'll throw it over here to Luke real quick.
So you were talking about like some of the teams that recruited you. What were some of your top teams besides Iowa State that were maybe close or not so close?
I'd say like my closest other two teams were Iowa and Kentucky. Kentucky was my first offer, and then I had a pretty good relationship with the safeties coach. He was, I think, the area recruiter, and he came by and talked. We talked for a while. I took a visit there that summer, going into junior year. Then Iowa, the D-line coach, Coach Woodsmall, him and Heflin both all about Iowa. So obviously I took them into consideration. But yeah, those were like the main two other schools that I was really considering.
Have you checked out the Ames, Iowa food scene yet? Have you been able to get that? I know you've been up there more than once.
Yeah.
So, like, have you been able to check out any of the restaurants there?
I know because they usually cook everything just in the facility. So
Okay.
Yeah, they make a ton of food, just in like the dining area, I guess. And that was always amazing. So I'm assuming there's some businesses around there that are really good. I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So how was Ames as a whole, like just the city and being there in the college town? How was the feel of it?
I think it was awesome. I honestly think it's kind of close to like Washington. Just small town vibes, not too many people, but it's not like a little ghost town. It's good small town, just something I'm used to, something I'm comfortable in. So good place.
This is something you may not know just yet, but do you know if when you get down to Ames, if you're going to play offensive line for sure, or is it for sure that you'll be playing offensive line?
Yeah.
And so, have you met your offensive line coach yet, Jeff Myers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've met Coach Myers.
Yeah, we talk. He was like the main guy with me on my visits. So yeah, we have a pretty good relationship. We talk. We try to get on the phone at least once a week.
That's awesome.
And yeah, same with Coach Campbell. Him and Coach Campbell, like the main guys I talk to all the time, and we have very good relationships.
Sweet. How does you talked about Iowa State kind of had like a few questions ago, kind of having like a family orientation. Does it feel similar to kind of your high school experience and the family vibe that Coach Heflin has built as well?
Yeah, definitely. Even on my official there, like just with all the players, I got the same host I did my first time. James Neal, he plays left tackle. He's a great guy. Just easy to talk to, kind of low key. We're pretty similar in that way, and I think that's why Coach Campbell put us together for him to be my host. And then even just like all the other players are welcoming. They'll obviously some trash talk. If things get competitive, it's fun. And we went to Coach Campbell's house one time, and there was like the longest game of knockout I've ever seen. It was like I had to have been an hour. So that was, oh my God, but it was fun. they're all. It just seems like everyone's close together and close knitted. It's good.
Yeah, that's got to be super exciting. I'm trying to just think about a knockout game with that many great athletes. That's got to be so much fun.
And some guys are doing windmills, like 360 dunks. Then you got some linemen that can't get off the ground.
But they're drilling.
Yeah,
they'll be drilling
hit
threes
half-court shots.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
A more serious question here. You wrestled this past school year as well to go along with playing football.
Yep.
Do you just like tackling boys or what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be fun. I like hitting people. With wrestling, I got to do both JV and varsity. JV was a little more fun because you could just pick them up and throw them. Varsity, those guys were bigger than me, so I was like, I had to do a little more stuff. And I got some wins. I wasn't undefeated in JV and varsity. I think I went probably like 3-5 or something, but I didn't really care about the record. It was my first year. I was just kind of doing it for the workouts and getting in shape.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. Do you think that wrestling, like, I know it's early in the season, but have you been able to notice that maybe some of the things you learned from Coach Ohm in the wrestling room has any of it translated to maybe the football field yet?
Definitely. Like, just feeling people out, like where they're leaning, because like if someone's leaning too far, now I just flip them over. And I don't think I even attempted to do that last year. But I could definitely feel like just feeling out how people are moving, footwork kind of, and just hands. Like I feel like I'm stronger with my hands because you're always hitting, grabbing, and a bunch of stuff in wrestling.
Yeah, for sure. I remember I went and watched you a couple times, and sometimes the matches were over within like 13 seconds.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun to watch as well. So,
yeah, and I got beat up in practice by Gavin all the time. So going against Gavin and Jared every day, then going down to like varsity, it was kind of a break, honestly. Mm-hmm. It was fun though.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, those guys are. Hell, Gavin was almost a state champion. Jared was a state champion.
Yeah.
So that had to be.
Yeah, they tossed me around.
Yeah. It's crazy to think about in your head for us, I think, to think of somebody tossing you around. But, those two are crazy.
Those are some athletes.
I've known you for a long time, Trevor, since I think you were in 7th grade. I still don't know what kind of drives you to be great. What do you think it is?
I don't know that for a for sure answer either. I think, honestly, what drives me to like get better at football, obviously like freshman year is like being the young guy, being the small guy compared to those other seniors and juniors. I think I just wanted to prove that I could play with them, and
what you did.
Yeah, I just want to prove I could play with them and that I wasn't some little kid. But from there, it was more of like after that, I think it was obviously still everyone at practice. We all push each other. Like we got Mark Hensley, Ryan Jost, also big football players going to college. But now it's like when I went on those visits, it's like you see people that are the same as you and like bigger, stronger, faster. So it's like having that in the back of my mind, like everyone's like this in college. So it's not going to be a cakewalk. So I think that's definitely like a big reason of why I'm like, I got to get going. Like it's not going to be any easier in college.
Yeah. Before I hand it over to Luke, I think one thing I did notice from when I did play with you though is that you were having a shitload of fun when you were playing. And I don't know if that was something that kind of drove you, but it always seemed like maybe that it kind of was, because I feel like you could always really get us going, the team, when you would, pancake somebody or, bring somebody down from behind when the defense needed it. I always felt like that kind of drove everybody else as well. So
and I try to focus on that. Like I'm not gonna be up and yell, and I'm more laid back in the game. But like in my head, I'm like, okay, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
But I just try to do my job, get the plays done, and if someone else makes a play, I'm all with them. And so I just try my best to keep everyone in line if I can, like make sure everyone knows what they're doing, and just get after each other. And everyone does the same thing for me. If I mess up, I know someone let me know. We go over it in film. We figure it out the next day of practice. So
Yeah.
All right. So it's kind of a weightlifting question because me and Cam are both big numbers guys. And
yeah.
so what are you in the weight room right now? Like some of the big lifts like squat, bench, clean. What are your numbers looking like on those?
Last we maxed out. I wasn't able to do clean or squat just because I was not trying to hurt my back. Bench, I got 310 at the end of this last year. Squat was 425, I think, at the end of first semester. Then clean was 315. Or wait, no, I don't even know if I hit 315 yet. Woodsmall did some craft to me, and I was like, oh my gosh. I think I'm saying 315. I know I can get 315 on clean now, but yeah.
Yeah, those are some really impressive numbers for sure. I remember your back injury, so I can definitely understand trying to keep that thing intact.
I don't know how much maybe you pay attention or don't pay attention to maybe the college football landscape lately with teams joining and leaving conferences like USC and UCLA leaving the Pac-12 to go to the Big Ten. Do you give that much thought at all, or are you really not worried about Iowa State and their place in the Big 12 as a whole with teams like Oklahoma and maybe Texas leaving and stuff like that?
I honestly have no idea what goes on in the college. I'm sure you know that when I sent you a picture of an orange bowl, a bowl full of oranges at Kansas, and I had no idea what that meant. I just thought it was funny. But I honestly, I don't keep up with that. I don't really care. I'm there to play.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah,
I always, because I feel like I've talked to you about it before. Like you like to play, but you're maybe not as informative about it yet. Do you enjoy watching football either? Or because I know there's some big time even NFLers that like to just play it. Like Myles Garrett is an example of this. He likes to just play football, but in his spare time, he really has nothing to do with football after that.
Like for me, they're long games, so it's like a lot of times I don't have time to watch like a full game. I mean, I would if I'm just sitting at home, I always have it in the background playing, but there's been a handful amount of times where I've just sat down and watched the game. Obviously, I watched Super Bowl. I watched like some playoff games, but regular season, I try to watch every other game. More college football, like Mizzou, I'll watch a Mizzou game just because like Ryan and them. So I'm like,
sure,
yeah, that'd be cool. But other than that, I don't really watch too much football.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a team maybe when you were growing up that you like to watch or root for? Was it just Mizzou kind of?
Even them, I never even because I live with my mom and sister. They don't really watch football, so it's never really on TV. But I guess just Mizzou because I mean, obviously it's closest team, and everyone here likes Mizzou, so or most people.
All right. We're big video game guys as well.
Oh yeah.
And with the new NIL agreements, there's like the new NCAA video game going to be coming out next year. Have you given much thought at all to potentially being in a big video game?
No, but now that you say that, I actually haven't thought about that actually, but that would be pretty cool, honestly.
It's going to be cool as fuck to play with Trevor Buhr on Iowa State.
I'm hoping I'm at least like a 60 overall first year. Come on, like 60, I'll be happy. I'll be sick.
Yeah, I think about it quite a lot because I still play it. I just think about like how you'll be on it next year. Mark should be on it next year. If you don't know who we're talking about when we're saying Mark Hensley, he's a good friend of Trevor's. Also plays at Washington High School. Another interior defensive lineman, offensive lineman who is committed to Northern Illinois University, and he'll be a senior this year as well. But it'll just be cool that you guys will be on the game. You'll be able to play with them. So
I can't believe I've never thought about that. Isn't that supposed to come out like next
summer in July? So and this is kind of related to it. I don't know if you know this yet. Another one of those questions, but Do you know if you're going to enroll early at Ames, or if you're going to be able to, or if you won't be able to, or?
I think I could, and I did want to for a little bit, but just thinking about it, I was obviously I wanted to enroll early, just try to get a head start because for alignment, I think going into college it's a little bit harder than or at least adjusting to the game. I feel like just because everyone's so much bigger, stronger. So I did want to do that for that fact, just so I could probably keep up or get a head start compared to the other linemen that are potentially coming in for my class. But after thinking about it, I don't know if I would, just because I just really want to enjoy this last year of high school, just hang out with my friends, do whatever else. But yeah, just kind of enjoy this last year before I move on.
No, I don't blame you for sure. I mean, as soon as you get up there, it's back to work.
Yeah.
So, once football season is over this year, hopefully you're playing into December this year.
That'd be awesome.
But
Once that's over, you kind of need to recoup a little bit and enjoy this your senior year. Prom and whatnot, and everything else that goes crazy at Washington High. So, yeah.
Yeah.
As we all know, once you get to college, it's student before athlete, right? Student athlete. So do you know what you might major in once you get to Iowa State? I don't know if they looked at any of that with you while you were up there or talked to you about that as well, or...
Oh, yeah, they talked a little bit, and I don't know for sure, but I'd like to do something like sports science or like IT or something, because I do like computers. I like messing around with all the technology stuff, and I think that would be something big coming up. Or obviously it's big now, but like in the future, it'd be just good to know that stuff. So
Yeah.
something in that, I guess, area. I think being a personal trainer would be cool. Something like that, if you know, but.
so a few options there.
Yeah.
None of those things are going anywhere either, so you don't
Yeah,
really
so
have to
it's-
worry about that either.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. So, what part of football do you enjoy the most? Because there's lots of parts, like the locker room, just absolutely plowing someone or blocking them, across the field. What makes football fun the most to you?
What I enjoy the most is probably going up against a guy who likes to talk trash, because I don't really talk. I mean, once they get me going, I usually say something, but I like when they bring up like my offers and stuff. Then I just plan them, and then they keep going at it, but they get angrier and angrier. So then I keep and then I get angry, then I start going harder at them in the ground. I might hold them down a little longer. But I get enjoyment out of that. I laugh. I like watching on film a lot. And then, yeah, but I like going up. Honestly, probably one of my second favorite things is just having a good competition game. Like, shoot, my sophomore year against Zumwalt South, like I had 4.5 sacks that game, but it wasn't like I was just dominating my guy, I guess. But it was like, I feel like every other rep, because they were passing a lot. So like one rep I'd lose, next rep I'd win. It was just kind of back and forth. I think like a good consistent matchup like that is always fun during a game.
So, like, what I got out of that is you like the grind of football and just competing and
Yeah.
going against other people
Yeah.
that are good as well. Yeah. All right.
I remember that game. That was that was kind of a beatdown, but yeah, that was
It
awesome.
was a fun game.
We're almost done. Trevor, thanks for coming on, man. One of my last questions for you is, what do we think about Union Week 1? We've been preparing. You guys have been preparing a long-ass time for it. How are we feeling about it?
I don't know. Me personally, I'm not stressing about it. I think just last year, obviously, I was out, and I think that just having me out, not to sound cocky, that changes the game plan for other teams. So it's like that, and then we had 6 fumbles, which That is a lot of fumbles for a game. So we've been working on that. Like if every time we fumble, we're all doing push-ups, drives me nuts. So then we all get on each other for it. But honestly, I'm not too worried about it. It's not going to be a walk in the park by no means. It's not going to be an easy game. We're going to do everything we can for it. But I think it'll be a good game. I think we could pull out a win. But it's up to us really. It's if we can't fumble like 6 times, we can't have just silly mistakes, we can't miss an assignment or a tackle, got to run to the ball. And that's everything that's stuff we work on every single day at practice. So I think it'll be a good game, but I think we can pull out a win.
Yeah, I don't think it's cocky of you to say that just because you didn't play last year, because it does. I mean, they are game planning around you.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to a Power 5 school, so.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that game. I think
good.
it'll be another dogfight as well, honestly. Hopefully it's not hot as hell, but probably will be.
Probably.
The last 2 have definitely been really hot against Union. And that's another thing, you played them your sophomore year, but you missed it your junior year. Mm-hmm. So this is kind of your last chance to get them back.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my gosh, it's Union just.
I know.
Those are like probably Union, and North. Those are we could lose every other game. If we beat Union and North, I'll be satisfied. Obviously, I don't want to lose every other game, but those are like my most important games. Like I want to win those games.
Yeah, for sure.
I will do everything I can. I will play whatever position we need to play. I don't care. I just want to win those games so bad.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But I'm ready. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I can't wait for that one either.
All right, so one last question here. When we introduced you, Cam introduced you as a beast, and in the weight room, on the football field,
Everything, you're just a beast. For the record, like, what are your measurements? How tall are you?
Without shoes on, I'm like 6'3.5". Right now I'm weighing I think I weighed 257. Yeah, that's 6. I just say, like they always say, just 6'4", 260, which that's usually where I'm at. I'm trying to get up like 265, 270 if I can. A good 270 would be awesome. So trying to gain some more weight, but that's where I'm at right now.
Well, I think that's all that we have for you.
Yeah.
But thanks for coming on once again.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Good luck on the football field this year, and wishing you guys a good season.
Thank you.
Yeah, can't wait to watch you again this year and the rest of the team. Really excited about it, and I really can't wait to watch you at Iowa State, man. I'm super excited about that too.
I appreciate it. I'm excited too.
So, yeah. Well, thanks, Trevor. Thanks for coming on the Show Me Show.
Sure.
Really appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
No problem. That interview is not only sponsored by Anchor, but it was an awesome interview. Thanks to Trevor for coming on the show. Like I said, he has practice tonight, day 2 of practice. And so we really thank him for taking the time out of his day to come on and join the show.
Really good interview, I thought. Yeah, it was a very professional interview and a lot of fun to do. So
yeah, we're really excited for him. I can't wait to watch the boys. My alma mater, Washington High School, Luke's alma mater. See how good they do this year, and more importantly, just to watch Trevor and the rest of the boys after high school, watch them play in college as well. So yeah, thank you, Trevor. With that being said, we're actually going to get on into some MLB talk, mainly the Cardinals, which we're excited about. We did a little research dive a little bit earlier to research what we said about our predictions for the MLB season for our MLB preview, and we'll check in on those as well. That'll be towards the end of our baseball segment. But
what was that, like episode 13 or something?
Yeah, it was earlier on.
Yeah, well, it was right after. It was like during opening day weekend, I think.
Yeah.
And Cam made World Series predictions. I made predictions for like all the playoff teams. Mm-hmm. And they're actually doing really good. I literally have every single NL team right. in the playoffs at the moment.
Which he was naming them off, and I'm like, holy shit, Luke is dead on right now.
The only mess up I had, the only mess up I had is the Braves and Mets. I had flip flopped. I have the Braves winning the division and Mets in the playoffs, which could still happen, but it's not really looking that way. But all the other playoff teams are right. In the AL, the only one I missed was I had the White Sox instead of the Twins. And the Red Sox too. I had them as a wild card team. But yeah, I mean, those predictions were good. But then I'm looking at my World Series, and you just hear me go like, "I'll take the White Sox
in the World Series," and I'm like, "Oh, damn it, that's that one's not looking really good." But Cam, he said the year of the Yank at the beginning, and oops, let me do that. Yeah, Yankees Dodgers is what he had, so that's looking good. Mine was Braves and White Sox, I think, and I had the White Sox winning. So, I mean, could still happen, but I mean, the check-in it's good. I mean, I thought we actually were doing pretty good on our predictions, so it's nice to follow up on those. Kind of gives us more accountability.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot has happened in the last week. Not only obviously was Soto traded and stuff, and Cardinals got out of DC on that Sunday with a win. Came home for one of the more fun series as a fan. Cubs 3-game series at home. Swept the Cubs.
Yeah, game on Wednesday got rained out. Moved to Thursday for the doubleheader.
Still won both of them, and they were exciting too.
Oh yeah, I mean, that first game in the doubleheader when we were down 3-0, and then came back in the 7th inning to tie it, and then Lars Dubar hit the walk-off. That was that was one of the funnest games I've seen all year. I mean, the guys out there just looked like they were having fun, and in the moment, it just seemed like we couldn't lose. Like, I'm watching the game, and I'm like, oh, 3-0. I was like, well, maybe this is one of those games we lose. We win the nightcap. It's good. We came back and won. I was like, man, we may never lose. It was just one of those feelings. And then in the nighttime, Jose Quintana against his former team dealt a gem. 6 innings, 1 earned run in his first Cardinals start. So that was very exciting to see. Even though we didn't get Soto at the deadline, we did get 2 really good pitchers, and they both pitched well this week. So,
yeah, that was the thing is not only did Quintana pitch really good, a few nights later, Montgomery pitches a 1-0 shutout, and that brings us to the Yankees series. The Yankees came to town for the first time, I think, since 2014. I want to say.
Yeah, I think so, because that was Derek Jeter's final year, and so I remember I went to one of those games as well, and we were giving him a standing ovation send off. So I think that was the last time. Yeah.
But it was a really awesome series, even though the Yankees didn't even win a game in that series, and it was
what makes it awesome.
Series. Cardinals double sweep the Cubs and the Yankees at home. They're actually in Denver tonight for another. I think it's a 3-game series, or is it 4?
Yeah, it's 3 with the Rocks,
with the Rockies. But yeah, really fun series against the Yankees. We got to see Jordan Montgomery. We got to see players like Aaron Judge, DJ LeMahieu, and some other Yankees beasts.
Yeah, and then of course we got to see the return of Matt Carpenter to St. Louis. That was really, really cool to see him get the standing ovation every single day. His first at bat, he got a standing ovation from the crowd, which is deserved. Obviously, last year he didn't really get the proper send-off. He never really played at the end of the year because he sucked. And then even in the last game of the year, whenever, ultimately they would have sent him out to get another at-bat, and kind of get one more standing ovation from the crowd, the game got rained out, like after 7 innings. So he never got that chance to get the final at-bat there. Comes back with the Yankees, having a really good season, actually, which is unfortunate because he just got injured last night, and he's going to be out for quite a bit, maybe the rest of the year. But he's having a really good season, regardless, with the Yankees, and he comes in, starts all 3 games, gets the reception from the crowd, and that was really cool to see.
Yeah. Expanding on what he just said, it looks like Matt Carpenter is probably There's a good chance he's done for the year because
yeah.
foot fractures, broke his foot.
He fouled pitch off his foot last
yeah.
night.
Foot fractures can be really tough to come back from, especially in sports like football, but baseball as well, because of all the planting, the sliding, but mostly from hitting, really, the stuff you have to do in the box. So that one's really it's sad, honestly.
But I mean,
it happens.
I was thinking about it last night. I think I told you about it, but it was just kind of like a sign from the baseball gods, like immediately after he gets done with this series in St. Louis, it's like, all right, the baseball gods allowed him to come back and have a good season with the Yankees to come back to St. Louis and get that send off. It was just kind of like I don't even know what to say. It was just a weird moment in time. Like maybe it was just meant to be, him coming back to St. Louis and getting that. And then immediately after, it's like, yep, this run was for that moment, even though I hope that's not the case because I hope he does finish out this year and have a good year. But I don't know. It's very good chance he's out for the rest of the year, like Cam said. But anyway, yeah.
And one thing I was curious about is I didn't see Bayer the whole time. Did they just stash him in New York City?
No, he was in the dugout.
Was he?
He was there, yeah.
See him. Maybe because it's hard to recognize him now. But
well, yeah, because he had to cut his hair because they have the stupid hair policy in New York. But yeah, I mean, he was there. He said he was coming to St. Louis. So he couldn't play. He's still in a walking boot. But, him and Carpenter are kind of going to be in the same boat with that for a little while.
Yeah, they will.
Both be in a walking boot. But I mean, what a fun homestand. I'm just thinking, like, when was the last time we had this fun of a homestand? We had 3 games against the Cubs and 3 games against the Yankees, 2 of our biggest rivals, and we swept the entire homestand. Like, that's an S tier.
Yeah.
Homestand right there. That is quality.
A historical fact, first time Cardinals ever sweep the Yankees, ever in baseball history, going back over 100 years. So that was really cool. Also, Game 3 on Sunday, Luke was there.
Yeah.
Hot as balls.
Oh, my God. It was so hot. Just humid.
4.5 hours of game time, obviously with TV, but
4 hours and 25 minutes.
It was action-packed from start to finish, and that's coming from me. And to me, it was the most fun game that I watched all season in terms of Cardinal baseball. Final score, 12-9. Hits, I can't remember the stat, but it was either every single player from both teams either got a hit, scored a run, or got on base, which was insane.
Yeah.
That is an insane stat. There was well over 20 hits in the game. Every single inning, it seemed like there was something going on. And even the innings when there wasn't anything going on, it was a good pitching, and you're like, man, I bet those pitchers are finally happy that they got a 1-2-3 inning, and they didn't come until like the 8th inning, I'm pretty sure. So the first 1-2-3 inning.
I think we might have had something like the 3rd or 4th inning, but
no, I remember because Wainwright, the 3rd inning was the only inning that nothing really happened, and he still got a runner on base. So
yeah, well, the 3rd and 4th inning were both scoreless by both teams. But they were still long innings. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
The Yankees had 16 hits, and they lost. So that doesn't happen very often. Shout out to the Cardinals offense for making that happen.
Shout out to the Angels for hitting 6 home runs and losing.
7
home runs. 2 from Shohei.
Yeah, it was incredible. But, I was there on the Sunday game. What a long game. It was not only the longest 9-inning baseball game of this season out of the entire MLB, but it was the longest 9-inning baseball game in Busch Stadium history. So, I mean, shout out to everyone there for just enduring that long of a game. But it was a fun one. My whole family went, actually. So, my mom and sister aren't really big baseball fans, but they went and they seemed to have a good time. So, shout out to them for just, sitting through the long game. But I had so much fun. I mean, the Arenado home run in the 2nd inning to put us up by 2 was electric. Frankie Montas had a terrible debut. And then obviously the DeYoung home run off the big Macland sign. It was his 100th career home run. And so because of that, everyone in the stadium gets free Big Macs now for the next week. So thank you to Young for supplying us with Big Macs this week for people in the stadium like me. So shout out him. He's so back too.
Yeah.
I mean, what
Lars right now.
Yeah,
Back.
Lars
So
is back. But I meon, what a way to come back for DeYoung, because the big thing for him was breaking the Big Macland sign, and so for him to just come back, bat flip, hit the Big Macland sign again, he's so back.
yeah.
And I'm excited. I think he also had a big hit in Game 1 of the series, the double down the line to score 2 to put us up 4-3. What a fun series! Man.
It is. The Paul DeYoung thing is an example of a baseball being beautiful story.
Yes.
Him being sent down to the minors, including us and all of Cardinals Nation bashing his skull in pretty much with hate and wanting to send him pretty much to Korea, north preferably for a little bit, and he's back, and now we're back loving him. So that's just how sports are. Players are used to it, but yeah. One other note that I had from Sunday's game. Game 3 also featured an ump show from hell.
Oh my God!
An unbelievable performance from Mr. Hickok or Hitchcock?
Ed Hickox. What a name! Yeah.
Okay. But
he
just
had
an
everything.
Unreal performance by.
I mean, early on in the game, he looked like he was really screwing the Cardinals out of it. But then around the 4th and 5th innings, mostly when Chris Stratton was in the game, he was giving us some big calls. I remember a 3-2 count with the Yankees had the bases loaded. It was a pitch probably 4 or 5 inches off the plate, and he called it a strike. And I remember I was just laughing in the crowd. We had Yankees fans in front of us, and they were just kind of getting a little frustrated, obviously. And then I remember just laughing. I'm like, that was not a strike at all. Like, I'm with you on this. It's just funny how bad he was. Like, it was comical.
And then he also missed a call, like the Young slide in the home plate.
Yeah.
He called him out, and he was obviously safe.
Yeah. And the announcers, BT, Brad Thompson, and Danny McLaughlin were like, Dan McLaughlin, sorry. We're just like, well, if he called him safe at the plate, or out at the plate, he's safe with the kind of day that this guy is having. They said that on the air.
That's funny.
And they were right. I mean, he was obviously safe. And like Luke said, the bad calls were going both ways kind of at the beginning. But then it kind of more stirred towards the Cardinals, like they were getting, they were benefiting from it. Later on in the game, it started to really hurt the Yankees. But throughout the whole game, though, there were pitches 2 full baseballs off the plate that were being called strikes for both teams. So, I mean, that part was going both ways, but it just seemed to affect the Yankees more in clutch situations. Like Luke said with the Stratton thing,
it was so inconsistent because at the beginning of the game, it seemed like his strike zone was the size of a pea.
Mm-hmm.
But then
it was moving all day.
As the game went on, it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And that just sucks for hitters and pitchers. Like, not only are you not calling the pitches correctly, but if you're like consistently calling them there, then hitters will understand. They're like, all right, that's been a strike all day. But whenever you just like call pitches randomly, you can't get a feel for the game. And I think that kind of hurt. That's what made the game so long. That's what made the game so many runs. And it was just a terribly umpired game by him. And so I think he kind of got his punishment from the baseball gods when he got domed in the head on that foul tip.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who that was, but he definitely tried to take him out there.
Helsley was throwing, but the guy tipped it and it just hit him square in the head.
Although Yachty saved him. Yachty saved his life.
Yeah,
he looked like he was about to just collapse, falling backwards. But Yachty held him up.
No, he was on his way. I had a perfect view of it. Like, he was literally already starting to tilt over, and Yachty caught him. So,
another thing that we were forgetting is that Aaron Boone got his money's worth.
That was amazing.
Which was definitely justified. Like we said, I mean, me and Luke, Cardinals won, but we're not afraid to say it. This was an ump show from hell. And Aaron Boone had every right to do that. Hell, Ollie was yelling from the dugout all day long.
Yeah.
So the players were having words with him all day long because, like we said, this was just a bad ump show. So,
yeah. But ultimately, fans went away happy because we won. And it was just such a fun atmosphere in the stadium because we're on a 6-game winning streak. You're playing the Yankees. You're having a fun game. Everyone was happy. It was a fun atmosphere. 2 of the takeaways I have from going to see the Yankees in person, obviously seeing all the stars and stuff. At the beginning of the game, I got to see, Nestor, Garrett Cole, Severino, some of the big Yankees pitchers all walking out to the bullpen like together. So that was kind of cool. And then Aaron Judge, obviously leading the league in home runs, has a chance to break the record. He is huge. Like, you see his numbers, he's 6'6", 285 or something like that. That is a huge individual. And seeing him stand at home plate, I was kind of close to field level. That guy is massive. Like, he's so much bigger in person. Like, if I could stand next to him, I'd probably be so much intimidated just because of how big of a human he is. I mean, 6'6", that's a tree trunk. And then he's 285 pounds. That's nearly 300 pounds worth of person there.
Yeah.
He's just a huge individual. That was the takeaway that I had. And then also, so many Yankees fans in the stadium. This is like the only team. They probably had the most fans in the stadium out of any visiting team ever, other than like the Cubs when I go. So shout out to the Yankees fans for traveling well or just showing up,
Yeah.
There's a lot of them there.
One thing about Yankees fans is they will travel, but they're also just spread out across the states.
Oh, yeah.
To where they can just go to the games.
Kind of like Lakers fans.
Yeah. Or Cowboys fans.
Exactly.
Another team that kind of traveled well, and we kind of saw it, was Toronto. They traveled well when we went, I thought.
I didn't see. I mean, if you thought Toronto traveled well, if you would have been in the stadium on Sunday, there were so many more Yankees fans. Like, Toronto was okay, but I mean, it was kind of a normal visiting team for me. But the Yankees, there was a lot of Yankees fans there. So,
oh, shit, I feel like I'm forgetting some. Oh, Aaron Judge's body type is kind of like what the Pelicans want Zion's body type to be. Because Aaron Judge is filled out, but he's not fat. You know what I mean? Like, he's tall as shit. And like you said, he weighs like 280, 285. But it's like good weight, and he's filled out good.
He looks like an athlete.
Yeah, he looks like an athlete. Yeah, you're right. Not that Zion doesn't, but he has a little extra weight where
Zion's a little
Zion
fat.
can lose. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, fun series. Obviously, big pitching series for them, for the Cardinals. Big offensive series. Arenado wins Player of the Week. Obviously, he had himself a monster. Or massive. I was going to say both of them, but he had a great week, to say the least. Him and Goldschmidt are now the only players in the entire MLB that are batting above 300 and have more than 20 home runs. So there's 2 of them, and they both play for the Cardinals. Both MVP candidates now, in my opinion. So shout out to both of them for just playing. This is the first time they've ever played like this well at the same time. So that's a big reason.
Yeah, it was cool to see that. It was really cool to see one MVP candidate Goldschmidt and one MVP candidate Judge. Like in the same game for 3 straight nights. That part was really cool too, I thought, especially on Sunday when they were both playing well.
Oh yeah,
especially Judge. He almost went
4
yard
RBIs.
late. 4 RBIs.
Was that with the bases loaded?
Yeah, it was.
Off the bat, I thought it was gone.
Me too.
I just remember thinking, "Oh shit! Like, we're gonna blow this game," and then we didn't. So.
Yeah, it was so obvious too that was gonna happen.
Yeah,
that kind of hurt. Like he came up to the plate and just yammed one off, and it was almost gone.
I was shocked that it stayed in the park. So
yeah,
very thankful for that. But yeah, great game regardless. We got to see almost everything. Yachty had his 1,000th hit at Busch Stadium. We got to see the Marp return. Aaron Judge just being Aaron Judge. Got to see a Wayno bump day. Got to see an ump show. Got to see #DeYoung is back. And obviously the longest game in Busch Stadium history. So, I mean, really a perfect game if you ask me. Like, if I could envision a game, it would be Cardinals-Yankees and then all that stuff that I just listed. It was perfect. So, shout out to both teams for making that a fun game. And shout out to the Cardinals for being on a 7-game winning streak currently. Hopefully that they keep it up this week in Denver.
Yeah, for sure. One other thing, this is from a while back. The other day, Garrett Cole gave up 3 consecutive jacks to the Mariners without Spider Tack. So that was
He
kind of a
misses it.
sad moment. How the mighty have fallen, but
Well, the Yankees they're themselves are on a 5-game lose. No, they broke it last night, but they were on a 5-game losing streak.
yeah. Oh, that was one other thing I noted. I was like, right now, just right now, I'm starting to think that the Astros may be the best team in baseball.
Astros, they're on a 2-game losing streak. They're 5-5. They're in the same boat as the Yankees nearly. The Yankees were literally on a 5-game losing streak, and the Astros picked up 1 game on them during that losing streak.
But that's because they were coming back from behind. Like the Yankees lately, I feel like over their past 25 games have not been playing.
No, they haven't.
And the Astros have been gaining.
They've been slowly gaining, but if they were really the best team, they'd be gaining a lot faster. I honestly think the Dodgers are breaking away as the best team, and then the Mets are they had a great series against the Braves this weekend.
With the Grom right now coming back, and then Scherzer also being healthy.
And Edwin Diaz and his walkout music.
Oh my gosh, the trumpets are amazing. That is probably one of the coolest things in baseball, right?
Yeah, it's one of the biggest stories just because he's doing so good, and the walk-up song or the walk-out song is just it's really the first bullpen song that's really taken lift since Mariano Rivera and Enter Sandman. I mean, really, that was the famous one for a while. Although I do shout out to Ryan Helsley. He enters with Hell's Bells. I mean, that's sick. I remember when Ollie brought him in the 8th inning and they just started playing. I was like, man, this is cold. So, I mean, that's another thing that could be say hello is bullpen walkout music.
Yeah,
because that is cool.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that's how the Cardinals been doing. It's exciting times right now to see the pitching trades are paying off, which is exactly what we wished for. We either wanted pitching trades that would pay off or Soto. And we got the pitching trades, and they're paying off right now. So can't really ask for that much more. So yeah.
Yeah, big series against the Brewers this weekend at home. So Brewers are kind of on.
Is that home? I thought that one was away.
It's home.
Oh,
we
wow.
We have 3 in Denver, and then we're coming back here for 3 more against the Brew Crew, who are really slumping right now. Obviously, this week, the Cardinals entered this week down 3 games in the division, and they're coming out of the week up 2.
Mm-hmm.
You can't ask for a better week than that. The Brewers lost 3 to the Pirates and 2 to the Reds.
Hey, there was a time when that kind of thing was happening to the Cardinals a few weeks ago, I feel like.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. You want to do tough scene of the week here?
Yeah. Have you been to Coors Field? I thought you had.
Yeah, I went last year.
Okay, yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I want to go. That's I haven't been to any other park. Luke can rattle off some of the parks he's been to.
Yeah, I've been to 8 or 9 of them probably.
Yeah.
But I've been all the ones with great views. Coors Field, beautiful. Literally at the mile marker of elevation. I mean, they literally have a line in the stadium that simulates the mile mark of elevation. I've been to Pittsburgh, beautiful view. Busch Stadium, really a beautiful view as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, some of those. I mean, I just recommend those because it's just beautiful. And you're right at home plate, and you just look up, and it's just this. I mean, the sky in Colorado is amazing.
Oh my God, it's my favorite. I love Colorado skies. I go out there frequently. My family, we almost had the chance to go to Yankee Stadium this year. And
I remember you telling me.
I was really bummed when we couldn't go. And then I immediately asked, well, what about the Mets? What about the Mets? And my mom's like, we're not spending money to go to Queens for the Mets game. If we were to spend money, it would be for the Yankees. And I was like, okay, that's kind of fair, but still kind of wanted to see one of the two, but
I think they were both out of town anyway when you went.
They were in town right when we got in.
The Yankees?
And then they had a travel day.
Oh.
So they left right when we were there, when we first got there, and then they left. That's why we couldn't go. But if we were there a day earlier, then we could have gone to Game 3 of that series. So, yeah. But, yeah, let's do tough scene.
I have a lot of tough scenes this week. Just kind of rattling it off.
Okay.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, right, I don't have very many.
All right. I have a few funny ones, but I also just have. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because I feel like when Cardinals fans spend time on this, it's just kind of loser talk. But Jason Hayward, news was announced recently that the Cubs are going to release him at the end of the year, even though they own like $24 million next year. That's just how bad he is. And obviously, if you're a longtime Cardinals fan, you remember when he was here and he left to go to the Cubs. And he said that the reason he did that is because the Cubs core was going to be together longer than the Cardinals core. And look at the Wainwright and Yachty are still out there doing it. And the Cubs core is split between New York, Detroit, Colorado, San Francisco, Philadelphia. They're spread out everywhere. So just kind of a slap in the face to him, for leaving, even though he did get a World Series out of it. So I guess he kind of has a point. But yeah, very funny. Tough scene for just Jason Hayward in general, because he sucks.
And also, you want to include Wilson Contreras in that too. He stayed on after the trade deadline, but after this season, he's probably gone. So
yeah.
That's another one too. My tough scene of the week is Vince Scully passed away. So death is kind of hitting us hard right now, taking some of the real legends of the sport and sports. Basketball, Bill Russell passed away. Now baseball, Vince Scully passed away. Probably the greatest play-by-play. Definitely the greatest play-by-play guy for the Dodgers, no questions asked.
Probably one of the best in baseball. He made the game of baseball fun.
Mm-hmm.
And he had so many iconic calls and stories that he would tell. And, obviously he retired a few years ago, but, he was over 90 years old, I think. So, a great life for Vince Scully.
Yeah,
the time was coming, but it is still sad to see that happen. Especially immediately after Bill Russell, he's very similar to basketball's version of Vince Scully. He was probably better. He was a bigger influence for sure, but
I also
both
feel
legends.
Like, Vince Scully, I feel like he just retired too. So I feel like I wish he would have had a little bit more time.
Yeah, it was right before the COVID year that he retired.
Yeah, so I wish he would have had a little bit more time. My next one, and then we'll shoot back over to Luke. Coach Strieger Letterman on Twitter is just absolutely cooking U.S. senators by trolling them in their comment section. If you don't know who Coach Strieger Letterman is, he is a world-renowned Twitter troll who just continues to pick up traction with his tweets in comment sections of widely known people. And they just have blue checks, and they just have no idea that he is trolling them, and they believe everything that he says. They think what he's commenting is something that he truly believes in, and it's just throwing people off, including U.S. senators. And it's just not a great look sometimes for our government officials to get trolled by Strieger Letterman, but he is just so good at it. It's so funny. Not a great look for the government, but a great look for Coach Letterman, and I hope he continues to do so.
Oh, yeah. It's funny for sure. One more thing back to Vince Scully, though. We mentioned him going right after Bill Russell. It seems like deaths, like big-time legendary deaths, always seem to occur in threes. So I guess if you want to, one goes in another than another. If you want to think about it that way, you could maybe say, what's his name? Ray Liotta from Goodfellas. He died a few months ago, so you could say he would be the third one. Or there's just another legend that's going to die soon.
I think that there's a good chance that death will attack the football world next.
Good.
He's attacked basketball. He's attacked baseball. He's trying to complete all three, and then he'll hide out for a little bit until he comes back for his next three. So
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked at all if that happened. Or if he just does, the world a favor and takes the queen.
That would be great. I'm fine with that.
If that's his third one, then I would not. I wouldn't complain about that one.
No, that is. I still can't believe she's alive.
No, I'm calling it this year.
By the time
By 2023?
no, just in the next calendar year,
From this time
exact time in
August
history,
9th next year.
August 9th at 2:38 p.m. Central Time of 2023, the Queen will not be alive. So, I will not have any part in it at all either. It's a prediction. Could be wrong. It's a prediction. That's what I'm saying.
My other tough scenes, I have a few on here from the Cleveland Guardians because they were just kind of memeing it up this week. So first off, they tweeted out a picture or a letter, I guess, and it was sending Mustard down to AAA. And when I first read it, I was like, "What the hell? Why are they sending Mustard down?" But if you really think about it, the Guardians do a race in like the middle of the game, and they have people dressed up in ketchup costume, a mustard costume, and then an onion costume. And they obviously race, and fans can pick them. It's just a fun thing. They've had 50 home games this year. Ketchup has won 25 games or 25 races. Onion has won 25 races. And that means Mustard hasn't won a single race. And so they jokingly sent out or tweeted out a letter that said, Mustard is being sent down to AAA to work on his skill due to the fact that he has 0 wins this year. They're like, hopefully he can build up confidence down there in the minors. He might actually be being sent down, though. I don't know. I haven't followed up on that to see if they actually sent him down or not. And it's literally just going to be ketchup and onion next time, which would be funny. But yeah, for sure. That's a weird one. I mean,
yeah. I read the thing that they posted too, and I'll probably throw it on the screen here, but I could have swore that they said Mustard, 17, like his age.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they just have like a really slow white kid in the Mustard costume for the home games.
A cheeseburger fat boy.
So there's no way that they can send him away to AAA. So that part debunked, but I wish it was true.
Oh, it would be funny. Because honestly, you're 0-50? That's terrible. That screw being sent down to AAA. You should be fired. Get a new guy in the costume.
Get a new guy.
Make the races competitive.
Would be kind of cool if they just stole Mr. Freeze from Atlanta for a game and stuck him in the Mustard costume and just watch him blaze by ketchup and onion, and then everybody would just be like, wow, Mustard is back.
I just hope that the Cleveland Guardians fans, if Mustard wins, the next race that Mustard wins, I hope they give him a standing ovation. I really hope that, because that would just be hilarious.
That would be another baseball's beautiful moment. That would be like Paul DeYoung hitting the 3-run shot Sunday. Mustard winning a race, it would be the equivalent. So
yeah, exactly. Anytime you lose more than 50 races without winning one, I think that deserves a standing ovation, kind of thing. But so I hope that the Cleveland fans do that. And Cleveland fans are very good fans. I think they do have a sense of humor, so I hope that they do that.
With that being said, though, he needs to work on his craft.
Oh, yeah, for sure, definitely.
So we'll see.
I have another tough scene that involves the Cleveland Guardians as well. They recently optioned Franmil Reyes, who has kind of been known as a home run hitter over the years, but he sucks this year. And the reason it's a tough scene is because they had a Franmil Reyes bobblehead night scheduled for September 3rd. So now, or they didn't send him down, I apologize. They DFA'd him. So he's off the roster. He's no longer on the Cleveland Guardians roster at all. They're not bringing him back up. He's just a free agent. And they have a bobblehead night of his, because he was actually a decent player last year. And it's scheduled for September 3rd. So tough scene for them, because they're going to have to make a decision whether they're going to give away a player that's not on their team anymore, or just pull the promotion and go just raw dog it that night. So tough scene for sure. And that
yeah, they might. He could play a game by then.
What do you mean play a game?
I know he was DFA'd, but that's a month away, just about. So.
Oh, you mean he could be on a different team?
No. Well, no. I think he'll be back. He could be back on the Guardians by then.
Oh, really? Well, a DFA is kind of like releasing a player, though.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure it's exactly the same, though?
Well, the only difference is
I'm pretty sure they can bring him back from that.
Well, they can, but he's off So in baseball, you have the regular roster, and then you have a 40-man roster. And so you have like 13 players that are on the 40 that are eligible to come up. Like those are the players that are going to get called up because they're already on the 40-man roster. But for someone that's not on the 40-man roster, it's really, really, really hard to come up to the big leagues again because you have to be put back on that, and then someone else has to be taken off. And once you're taken off, you're literally released, put on waivers. So Franmil Reyes, he's currently on waivers right now. And if no one claims him, then he will go back into the Cleveland Guardians minor league system.
Okay. So
But
somebody
he's-
can pick him up.
Yeah, somebody can pick him up and basically just buy him from the Guardians. But if no one does, then he will basically become a free agent. So,
Interesting.
or the Guardians could re-sign him and put him back in their minors, but they're not going to call him back up. So,
Okay. Well, then I guess that is really tough then, because that sounds like it's over.
puts the promotion team in a really tough spot.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's a good one. Is that all?
I got one more. It's Braves pitcher Spencer Strider. He's a rookie this year, and after the series against the Mets, he had a really, really loser comment. Some people are like, "Oh yeah, that's cold," you know. I thought it was really just accept the loss. He said that the Mets are getting basically. I don't know the exact quote, but he said that the Mets are getting really lucky with their BABIP right now. They have one of the highest BABIPs in baseball. They're getting really lucky, but it's August. You know, who cares in August? Let's see what happens in October. And then he also alluded to saying, "Oh well, it doesn't help the Atlanta pitchers." Whenever the Mets are, in 1-1 counts, they're getting calls that maybe will make it a 2-1 count instead of a 1-2 count, basically blaming the umpires. And it's just a really bad look, I think, personally, after you lose 4 out of 5 to the Mets. So I thought it was loser talk. Some people are really over, oh, dude, this guy's, yeah, get him in October. But I personally think it's just loser talk. And then another tough scene is just the Cardinals fans, because John Mozeliak may have proved us wrong. He wins again. And that's it. This was the most tough scenes I've ever had, but there was a lot of them this week.
Yeah, and the last one is honestly a good scene in the end.
Oh yeah, in the end, I'm fine being wrong with that.
Yeah, me too. Although I don't think we were wrong.
That once he got pitching, we were like, it's just the low of not getting.
So
Yeah. So,
but it quickly dissipated here.
Yeah, definitely has. I mean, it's just been a fun week for Cardinals baseball. So yeah. With that being said, I think we're gonna hop into a quick NFL talk. Not a whole lot, but a little bit has happened. Yeah. Luke announced it earlier in the show. Football is back. Preseason games this Thursday. Already had the Hall of Fame game hit. And Thursday we have Titans, Ravens, and Giants, Patriots. But another big thing that has happened is the league has appealed Deshaun Watson's 6-game suspension in hopes that they will be able to suspend him indefinitely or for at least a year. I think this is the right move.
Well, it's certainly the right move for the NFL. I mean, gives them a good look.
A bad look for me. I called the judge by the wrong name last week.
Oh, yeah.
As it is Judge Sue Robinson, not Judge Sue Brown. That one thing that hasn't changed, though, is that I'm still 100% out on her.
Who is Sue Brown? That name sounds familiar, though.
I don't know. I don't know why I said Sue Brown, but Luke will look it up.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
So, yeah. But I'm out on Judge Sue Robinson. Although I did see one thing.
What the hell?
That was just like Judge Sue Robinson was just going by past things that the NFL has done. So she looked at former suspensions that the NFL has done, and that's why she came to the conclusion of 6 games for instances like Greg Hardy, that Giants punter, Kareem Hunt, and stuff like that. So in that case, it kind of makes sense, but I'm still out.
What? So it says this is the Google thing on the side, the right-hand side. Sue Brown is owned by her dog and 2 children.
Judge Sue Brown?
No, just Sue Brown.
Oh, I don't know.
You're talking about Judge Sue Robinson. I looked up who Sue Brown was because the name sounded familiar. And it says she's owned by her dog and 2 children.
But who is it?
I don't know. This is an author. When she isn't following their orders, she can be found with her laptop in Starbucks, drinking latte and eating chocolate. What the hell kind of description is that of a person? Owned by her dog and 2 children? That's just weird.
Is it a wiki?
Is it a what?
Wikipedia?
It says Google Books.
Oh. Huh.
Because she's an author. That's probably her description. That's just a weird description to have. But whatever. Weird for sure.
Cowboys signed Anthony Barr.
I hate him.
Which was a weird thing. Weird signing here in 2022. There was a time when the Cowboys didn't really need linebacker help, and a time when Anthony Barr was good at like that. Those things coincided at the same time. Not anymore. Anthony Barr not as good. Cowboys linebackers not good. Still sign them. More importantly, though, a bigger signing. The Steelers signed Deontay Johnson to a
Re-signed him.
2-year, $36 million contract. So an Omar Khan we trust. And this is a good get, I think, or good keep by the Steelers. And it also adds on to that 2019 wide receiver class that is just rolling in the dough. He was a part of that class as well. So
Is that the one? Who was in that class?
McLaurin.
Oh,
Metcalf,
and DK Metcalf,
Debo,
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown,
Okay.
all those guys. So
Man,
yeah,
they are rolling in the dough.
Another thing that happened in the NFL, obviously Hall of Fame game, which means enshrinements. Big congrats to St. Louis legend. I really do mean St. Louis legend, Coach Dick Vermeil. Love you. I love you, Coach. Brought the Rams their only Super Bowl and orchestrated the greatest show on turf. Really a St. Louis icon, even though the Rams left. I still love him.
He's a St. Louis Hall of Famer. I'd put him in the St. Louis Hall of Fame.
Me too.
Very classy guy, stand-up guy.
Another thing that happened was Kareem Hunt asked for a new contract or a trade, and the Browns simply said, nah. No, we're not.
He doesn't have that power. He's lucky to be on an NFL roster at the moment.
I agree because he's good, but also good running backs get cut all the time. So he could be on the watch list for that.
Yeah, and he's got previous charges against him for assault. So
exactly. This may have been the only respectable thing that the Browns have done this offseason. Was just say, nah, we're not doing that.
True, honestly.
So
the whole quarterback situation was handled terribly. But
and then last night, Justin Tucker signed a 4-year extension with the Ravens to keep the GOAT in Baltimore. So good for the Ravens. Good for Justin Tucker. And yeah, that's pretty much all that's really happened.
Well, the one thing
more, it's gonna keep happening with the preseason coming around the corner.
Yeah, the one thing with Justin Tucker is he's always the only kicker that you can consistently draft high in fantasy football. Like if you draft any other kicker high, you're just an idiot. But Justin Tucker is one guy you can always rely on to be a top 3 guy in fantasy. So.
Yeah, and for points and accuracy.
Yeah, for sure. Greatest, the GOAT. Really,
yeah, he really is.
Is he the all-time points leader yet in NFL history?
No, I don't think so.
Who is?
I'll look it up.
Oh, it's probably Adam Vinatieri, if I had to guess, because he played for forever.
Could be Blanda, couldn't it too? Because he played quarterback too.
I don't think a quarterback would be up there. It's got to be
Vinatieri.
Vinatieri, okay.
And then Morton Anderson. But Vinatieri has a good 100 points on him. So
Steven Gostkowski is 11th. How long did he play for?
A long ass time.
How many points does Justin Tucker have? He's not even in the top 20. Hey, Mason Crosby's on there though, 14.
George Blanda is 7th. So
is that a quarterback?
He was a quarterback kicker.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, that's pretty much it for the NFL. A little NBA talk. Bryce Maximus James is a 15-year-old, and he's already 6'6", and that's the end of NBA talk. So yeah,
he's got the sperm in him.
Yeah, sperm.
He does. That's what it is. Tucker has 1,300 points.
He could get there,
so he'll get on the top 20 this year. He's halfway to Vinatieri, though.
That's Vinatieri just played for so long.
I know.
One thing before we do our NFL wheel spins, we're coming to the back end of the show here.
Yeah.
A Twitter story of the week.
Okay.
Football guy.
Ooh, I love football guys.
I'll say this. This is one of the most football guy moves I've ever seen. This guy is a soccer player, but at the end of the day, this is a football move. Football guy move. Soccer player misses his own wedding to finalize transfer to new club. Sends his brother to be the stand-in groom.
It was his brother?
Yeah. So here's some details about this story. They did take their wedding photos way beforehand, so it looked like he was at the wedding. But on the actual day of the wedding, he wasn't there, and he sent his brother in. So I have a question about this. Now, we all know what happens after people get married, the night of.
No, yeah.
Did he send his brother to stand in for that too?
Well, was the soccer game still going on at that time?
He didn't come home during the day of the wedding.
So how far? Where was the soccer game at?
No, it wasn't a game. He was just finalizing a transfer. So he's changing teams.
So, but this arises a question.
Well, is his brother married?
I have no idea. I don't know who his brother even is. It just says that he was a stand-in for him.
Okay. That's a very good question that I don't think I can confidently answer either way. If I had to put money on it, I'd say probably no, because there's a good chance that his brother's in a relationship already and just wouldn't want to do that, or just out of respect for his brother.
I'm reading it right now. If you want to read the article, it's on barstoolsports.com by Reegs. And Reegs makes a great point here, too, that I didn't really think about, and I'll just read it here. I need to know the entire conversation that went down. Clearly, she doesn't have a problem with it, and by it, he means, her brother standing in with it, because the salary and all that is pretty important. This is a dangerous game, though. What if the priest slips up and says, you may kiss the bride? You just can't sit back and not listen to a priest, so that means your brother is planting one on your bride. No, thank you. Also, the brother, who is the stand-in groom, better be asking for some sort of monetary payment. You can't pretend to be a groom with no benefits. What's that?
Exactly, yeah, I agree with that.
That's true. And then I also just think when a priest says you may kiss the bride, you can't just stand there.
Be like, oh, that's not actually I'm not actually the groom.
Yeah, when they say those words, you have to kiss. It's just a law. Otherwise, the crowd is just what the fuck? But then they're probably already thinking that, as his brother is a stand-in, but just a lot of questions with this one.
I wonder if they told the crowd beforehand, oh, this isn't actually the guy. This is his brother. He's just standing in, because the groom himself couldn't even be here for his own wedding day because he was transferring soccer teams, which is hilarious already.
It's just a wild situation. I don't
know. Is this the first time in history that's happened? You think? A stand-in groom. That's not even, you don't even hear of that.
No, you just cancel the wedding.
Yeah, or postpone
it. Delay it.
Yeah. During COVID, that's what happened.
I guess
stand-in people.
I guess he really couldn't. Obviously, I'm sure there was millions and millions of dollars on the line if it was a soccer player in Europe.
Yeah.
Because that's how much they get paid a shitload.
No, there's probably more than millions.
But
hundreds of millions.
And you can't miss, I guess, the transfer, but then just postpone it, like me and Luke are saying. But he just sent his brother to be the standing groom, and as a football guy, it's classic because you can't miss the soccer transfer to your new team and getting set up and getting that bag. But
focus on yourself.
But also, it's just I can't believe he actually did that, though.
Yeah.
So, man. Luke, I would have to say this is probably one of, at least in the history of the world, probably one of maybe 3 or 4 brother groom stand-ins. That's what I would guess.
I would put, if that was the over-under number, I would probably take the under on that, honestly.
Yes. I just can't see women doing this.
No. I mean, even if the groom suggested in the first place, like, hey, I'm not gonna be able to make it, have my brother stand in for me at the wedding, I don't think the wife accepts. She's probably like, no, let's just postpone the wedding, bro. It's not that big of a deal. So the fact that it might be the only one actually in history. I'm not. There's been a lot of weird things happen, so there could have been a second one, and I would not be shocked. But if there was more than 2 or 3, I would be. I mean, this is just such a bizarre situation. I cannot believe it happened. It's just whenever you think about like really just the context of it. Like the groom wasn't there for his own wedding, and he sent his brother to stand in, and everyone just went along with it. That's wild.
Yeah,
I was one person like not like this is weird. This is not okay.
How does everybody? I wonder if everybody knew. You know, like at the same time.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
I mean,
wonder if
probably
they were
most
like
of them.
twins
Or like
to make it more believable. But
you think about like when the dad walks the bride down the aisle or something.
he's just walking his other son down the aisle.
No. Like when the dad of the bride walks his daughter down the
Oh
aisle
yeah.
to like give her away. It's like symbolizes giving her away to the groom.
Mm-hmm.
The groom's not actually there.
Yeah.
So that has to be awkward in itself. Like, oh, I'm giving you away to the brother of the groom, you know?
Oh, the whole thing is awkward.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't even know how they went through with it.
And that's why I also agree with Riggs about the monetary payment, because that has got to be the most awkward thing in the world for his brother.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I can't believe his brother agreed to do it. But I guess maybe he's like, maybe he just respects his brother. He's like, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
You really want me to. I'll
Maybe
do it.
also money talks. Who knows? There
yeah.
could have been payment.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but that just brings us to our wheel spins after that.
I don't even know how you can just follow up with that. That is just such a bizarre scenario there. So one of a kind. So you ready for the wheel spins here? So we're at a setup right now. It's a different setup than we've had, I mean, really ever. So Cam cannot see my computer screen right now. So I could say any team, and he could just believe me. But
my internet is like gone slow.
Is it actually?
Yeah, all of a sudden.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if that has. Hopefully that doesn't affect the audio of the show, but everything is just like going really slow because I was just trying to pull up the timer and it won't even let me.
It might be your computer because mine seems to be fine. I'll look up just something random. See how.
Okay, I'm able to.
Weapon?
Okay, I got to the page. Okay.
Hey, yo, what?
I think I'm ready.
The definition of balls is just testicles.
That's
the number one definition.
An Urban Dictionary?
No. The regular Merriam-Webster dictionary. I literally just searched up balls on Google, and the number one, it says vulgar slang, noun, testicles. And then the number 2 is courage or nerve.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that guy's got balls.
Yeah. But I'm surprised it's not like a round object that you... Maybe if I just type in ball,
yeah,
then it'll give me that. History of ball. Okay, yeah. It's just weird that was in the number one definition. All right, here comes the spin. Ooh, and it's going to the Jets. Hey, the Jets. All right. You want to start this one off, game?
Oh, yeah, that's fine. All right, let's see here. All right. Okay, 3, 2, 1. First thing that comes to mind is just Zach Wilson with that dog in him.
Cougar girlfriend that was also his mom's best friend. That's really all I can really think about. But I also think about their awesome draft that they had with Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, although I'm really disappointed to hear that Mekhi Becton could be out for a really long time. He just hurt his knee in practice. Also excited for Michael Carter in the backfield this year. And I think the Jets could get at least 8 wins.
8 wins.
They could. They're definitely a wild card team. They could either be really good, or not really good, but they could be good, or they could just be the Jets. You know, like they normally are. But like you said, the only thing that I could really come to mind was the whole Zach Wilson situation. I think that's really good publicity for the Jets and for Zach Wilson. It's going to increase his brand, increase his image, which is something a New York quarterback needs. Sam Darnold never had that other than being a loser and getting mono. I mean, this is a good story for Zach Wilson. It's a big step up. So that's my Jets are still. We'll go third place.
Okay, that was a minute.
Eliminate the Jets. I think we're getting down to almost half the teams here. So, which is good because the NFL season is less than a month away now. So, I mean, I guess doing 3 a week, we got to get all of them at some point. This looks like it could be the Colts. And it is. Indianapolis Colts. I can start this one off.
Okay.
When you're ready.
Go.
Okay, the Colts, they have Matt Ryan. They just acquired him. A great trade, I think. He's a veteran quarterback. He's what the team needs. They got, obviously, the big rushing game, the big defense. They're kind of the hard-nosed team, like everyone says before. Really looking to win the division this year, I would think. If they don't make the playoffs, kind of like they did last year, it's a huge disappointment. Frank Reich would be on the hot seat for sure. But I think they have a championship caliber team roster. If you really think about it, they got a former MVP. They got a great rushing attack. They just don't really have a lot of weapons on the receiving end, but they got a great defense too.
Yeah. They have Pittman, and I thought they drafted somebody to throw to, but I can't really remember. Back to Matt Ryan, though. Apparently he's looking really good in camp, and that doesn't shock me. I think he just needed a change of scenery. And you also can't forget Darius Leonard, one of the best NFL players in the league. Yeah, they could be coming for the division. And that's it. That's a minute.
Yeah, Forrest Buckner, Kenny Moore, they just got guys everywhere. They got guys.
Yeah, they do have dudes.
And they play in a terrible division, so. I'm excited for the Colts this year. I really am. They're a wild card team, I think. Well, I mean, like a wild card, like they could be really good, like a top tier team, or like they could miss the playoffs again. So, and then our third one and final one of this week, it's going to be a North team, and it's the Vikings, the Purple Warriors up in Minnesota. I will start this one off because I hate them, but. All right, I'll just start talking, and you can click it whenever I start talking. The Packers opened up the season with the Vikings in Week 1. Kirk Cousins is the definition of mid, M-I-D, at QB. But they got a good passing attack with Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen. A really fun offensive team if you really think about it, but at the same time, they're the Vikings still. They're second place in the NFC North, like they always are. Maybe a few wild card hopes. They do have a new head coach this year, so a little bit of excitement there. See what he can do out of the McVay tree, who has had great success.
I actually think this may sound wild, and this may look really dumb at the end of the year if we ever come back to this, but I think Kirk Cousins is going to be good this year.
Ooh.
In this new passing attack, I think he's going to be good. I still don't know if he'll be clutch, but I think he's going to be way better. Also, Dalvin Cook hopefully has a good year as well, and that's a minute.
All right. Did Kevin O'Connell coach in Washington when Kirk Cousins was there?
I think he was on that graphic.
Okay.
I can't remember if he was or not.
Because I know it was McVay, Matt LaFleur,
Shanahan.
Kyle Shanahan. They were all there, and they still were first-round exits.
Yeah.
That's how bad Kirk Cousins is, how unclutch he is that he had all those guys on the same staff and still choked in the first round. So.
Yeah. I'm so excited for the NFL season.
I know.
I was thinking on Sunday, it was like 1 o'clock, and I was like, holy shit, we'd already be an hour into Scott Hansen, NFL Red Zone, 7 hours of commercial-free football on Sunday. So I'm excited. It'll be only 4 more Sundays come this Sunday, and 4 more Thursdays come in Thursday. So
yeah, I mean, what a perfect game to open up the NFL season. Great job, NFL.
Gosh.
Yeah,
Great job, NFL, on that one.
Juggernaut. They always do a good job with that. I remember right after Super Bowl 50, Panthers-Broncos, they opened the next season Panthers-Broncos.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, Thursday night.
Oh, yeah, I do
was
remember
awesome.
Yeah, they seem to do a good job. Last year, I think, was really kind of boring. I forget who it was. The one where it was Packers Bears in the first game of the year, that one was stupid as well.
That was one of the greatest games ever. It was such a boring game. Are you talking about the 2018 one where the Bears were up 20?
No, that was Sunday Night Football.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about the one where they literally opened up the season on Thursday Night Football.
Oh,
because it was like the 100th year anniversary or whatever, and the final score was like it was literally the Super Bowl. It was like 13-3.
Okay.
So it was.
I guess that
stupid
was
game.
Sunday Night Football. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that game. I don't remember what year that was.
That was 2018.
I think it was the year before.
So.
And then what was the game last year? Who won the Super Bowl the year before?
Last year it was the Buccaneers. The year before.
Oh yeah, Buccaneers Cowboys. No, that was an alright game.
That was a good game if you remember it. I
Yeah,
know
I
it
do.
might be hard to remember, but because
It was fun.
It's been a while. But Dak played his ass off, and I was like, "Holy shit, the Cowboys might be for real." And then he got hurt. So
No, he didn't get hurt.
yeah, that was the year.
That was last year.
No. This past year, he was back. Remember?
Yeah.
It was 2 years ago, the Buccaneers season. That's
No,
the
it
one I'm
wasn't.
talking about.
No, it wasn't where the Buccaneers opened up the season. It was
Yeah.
last year.
Oh yeah.
The
But
year before was when he got hurt, and that was the
okay, yeah.
Chiefs and Texans, I think, opened up that year with Deshaun Watson, the Predator.
Oh yeah.
Um,
What a playoff game that was. Do you remember when the
yeah.
Texans were up like 24-0, and then
And a quarter later, the Chiefs were winning.
I was like, what in the world?
Yeah.
That was wild.
yeah, that was a wild time in the NFL. All righty, that's gonna wrap up. What a show!
Yeah.
What a show. Honestly, I think this might be close to 2 hours.
Yeah. I think it'll be about an hour 40. Hour 40.
Okay.
So sorry about that if you're not into the long shows, but this was a good show, we think.
I enjoyed every minute of it. Yeah.
So
Hopefully, and make sure I'm gonna tweet this out though to make sure that everyone knows. If you don't want to listen to the whole show, if you just want to listen to a certain part, there are timestamps in the descriptions on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and usually we put them in the YouTube as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just want to skip to a certain part but don't know when it is, make sure you check the descriptions. And then you can listen to the part that you want to. Because I know a lot of people don't have time to listen to an hour and a half, hour, 2 hours worth of a show. But if you just want to listen to a 30-minute segment or something that we talk about, then make sure that you do that and check the descriptions for that. So I don't feel like a lot of people know that, but they are there. And I work
really hard on those.
Yeah.
So
I
shout out Luke.
I literally get them to the exact second. So
Yeah.
I still haven't done last week's yet. But.
So an example of that would just be for this week, if you, I don't know why you'd want to skip this week's in and out. It was awesome.
Yeah.
But if you just want to get straight to the Trevor Burr interview, we understand that because it was a good interview. But that would just be an example of that. So yeah.
So then you check the description and be like, oh, it's at 14 minutes and 35 seconds is when the interview starts or something like that. And then you fast forward, listen to it, and then
before we sign off, one last announcement, and then we'll send you on your way. We got a new logo, so you may see that by the time.
Say hello.
Say hello to the new logo. We'll be changing our Twitter logo, our Instagram logo, YouTube as well, and you'll be seeing that pop up a little bit more.
Yeah, it's similar to the other one, but it's just much more professional.
Yeah,
looking literally the one that we made.
It took me 3 minutes.
Yeah, it came literally. I think he literally copyrighted the thing off the internet. If I'm right, he just screenshotted something and then. But could be wrong. You can edit this out if you want to. By the way. So you want me to repeat that because just admitting crime there.
Oh no, it was fun. That doesn't matter. Honestly,
Okay.
I just stole the state emblem and that was it.
Yeah, it was like the flag or whatever.
Everything
inside
else was clip art.
Yeah.
So.
But it was just really just kind of a cheesy logo, I guess. But this one looks much more professional, even though it is similar. But it's really cool. So
yeah.
So look out for that this week.
But yeah, that's our show. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys later.
Have a great week.